So we've gone through most of the process thus far, but one thing I want to really highlight on is testing. And that really comes down to product integrity. So what does testing mean? Well, it means several things. It means, am I putting a product out into the market that is not going to cause harm? Am I putting product out to the market that isn't going to bleed or crock all over someone's very expensive couch or aforementioned BMW? We test all the components of the garments to make sure that they're safe for the end user. Whether it's a child who we have to test to make sure that the pulling strength of their snaps is strong enough that it's going to remain on the garment and it's not a potential choking hazard. Or we test fabric, red fabric for example, that it's not going to bleed all over the inside of your white jean jacket, or your dark indigo denim jeans won't crock and stain all over your white leather couch. We have to put these tests into play to ensure that we are building product that's worthy of not only the price point that you're selling it for, but also worthy of a long-lasting product that's going to sustain its use and also retain the customer, because we want them to come back and keep buying your product, of course. So during this process, some of the time that we spend on the fabric and trim development side of this equation tends to be a little longer than usual, because we are ensuring that we're forecasting anything that could happen and anything that could go wrong in the final production stages. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm really good, but I can't tell the future. But what I can say is that we have to scrutinize all of the goods that we're purchasing that are being built as components in your product. It's our job to make sure that that mill in Taiwan that's shipping us that nylon spandex for those really cool aerobic pants that you want to build is not going to shrink up to the size of a postage stamp after you wash it one time. Because let me remind you, you're selling them for $125. So what's going to happen? You're going to have a run on the stores and everyone's going to return your product. So our job at the get-go, at the fabric research stage, is to deal with top vendors, is to deal with reputable companies that have high performance, and to deal with companies that are also accountable and responsible when they go into the production phase, so that if for some reason something should go wrong, which I mentioned earlier is uncontrollable. It is a total variable when something goes sour. Maybe the temperature in the dye bath was a little bit off that day, so the fixer wasn't working and something bled. Maybe something happened when they were finishing that roll of knitted nylon spandex and they didn't set the yarn or set the tension on the knitting machine enough that your whole weight and width has been affected. But they're taking accountability and responsibility to fix it. They'll offer a discount, they'll replace it, maybe they'll air it for us so that we don't have to incur those expenses. So we're taking the measures to ensure that anything and all things that could possibly go wrong are combated against in our preparations to build your final production products.